Hey guys, this is Factorio Meiosis. This is episode 28. I was just about to spend, I guess, a leisurely evening mercilessly butchering the locals, and I was looking at my power supply and realized that, well, my steam engines have been basically on 24/7. Okay, there they are there. So they're on a little bit. They've peaked up to like 120 kilowatts, and they're hitting like 80 right now. So I figured if I'm going to be fighting a bunch of aliens, that takes a bunch of power. I should probably reinforce my power before going off to do that. And so we're going to kick off this episode by adding an extra 500 steam engines to our system. Where's my blueprints? Right here. Okay, so this blueprint adds 140 boilers, and this blueprint adds 100 steam engines. And we are going to do basically the same thing we did here. We're going to lay down these blueprints 5 times and hook them up to some coal. But we got a coal patch right here. So I don't think I'm going to hook this thing up to a train. We're just going to let this guy supply these steam engines, all 500 of them, all by himself. Well, I had to make like 3 trips back to the base to get more of these underground pipes. I seriously underestimated how many I would need. This is some next level steam wheel cartel level piping here. We are mining up the very essence of everything that was once pure of this land. And okay, so I think all I have to do is plug this guy in, kind of like this, and then we can watch it work. This should be kind of neat to see all of the coal load in all at once. So there we go. Oh, okay, we're not even using our steam engines, but I do have 1,000. They're not being used right now, but they probably will in a bit. And hopefully, oh, I have a belt wrong. Okay, or missing. There we go. Okay, so we're totally compressing that line. Now it's going to start coming down here, and it'll take a while to load up because we do have, 500 steam engines, which equals, I think it's 700 boilers, which is a heck of a lot. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I can fix this issue. There we go, balanced. Okay, it's gonna do that every turn, huh? All right, fine. We can balance it every time just to keep the belt as loaded up as possible. And it might be interesting to see if, I mean, this should totally work, right? Eventually, it should catch up. The other one has been working just fine forever, and it has only been using the red belts. So in the fullness of time, this should be fine. Oh, okay. Let's back up here a second. First balancer. Oh, they filled up. Now the other ones are coming. I guess I could put like an actual full balancer in here. I do have room. Okay. Oops. Okay, that'll fill that up. This guy is filled up. Yeah, that didn't take too long, huh? No, we do want you. Okay, there's that one. We want you to be there. Boink, boink. There's that one. This guy is still filling up. There's that one. So that should bring a balanced line down here. That'll just get split. Okay, so that'll be fine. And after it does back up, it will fully load the belt. But until it does, it's not going to be balanced. So it'll be a better... It'll get coal to the far end of the line a little bit better like that. That's a lot of pipes. Look at that. Okay, so let's look at our power now. 1,000 and actually 1,020 steam engines, 6,900 solar panels, and 30 gigajoules of accumulator power stored up, ready to go on demand. So this all seems to be working fine. We're going to have a massive spike in pollution here. So I should go check on our wall here to make sure it is up to snuff. It's got robots repairing it though, so it should be fine. And I can go about my business. I'm going to spend some time expanding down here. All right. I think I've killed enough aliens. It's time to resume making the video. I have expanded a whole heck of a lot. We have now this whole open, empty terrain here to make our mark upon. We've expelled the locals. And look at what I found over here. I don't think I could already see this previously. Look at this monstrosity. One of the things at 0.13 added the patch is that the farther you get from your starting location, the more abundant the resources are. And this oil patch here is just ridiculous. There's all kinds of metal, minerals, oil, all kinds of stuff next to each other. So I think what I'm going to do, not right now, but eventually, we're going to claim this little area here because there is a bottleneck right here, which will be nice to defend. Won't require a lot of energy and robots and turrets. And we're going to try to cordon this off. And after that point, we'll probably start expanding, exploring in a new direction. And I might do an episode where we actually go exploring with a radar and solar panels, that kind of thing. Because now that I have all the modules that I can create, all of the destroyers, all of the really tanky stuff, I can run around with the flamethrower, melting bases. I found that I can basically just wade through the enemies, and we could drop a radar every once in a while and try to find if there are nice peninsulas, how the water is shaped outside of our base, so we can decide where to go next with our expansions. And one of the things I think I might be needing to do is actually to set up a solar panel cell. Up until this point, all of the solar panels have been attached to the railway. That was the original idea. But with the addition of the beacons and the assembling machine 3s, we are using up a ridiculous amount of power now. In fact, I think pretty soon after we set up this next section, I might have to add an extra 500 steam engines to bring us up to 1,500 because the power requirements are going to be quite ridiculous. We're going to start working on the super uber-duper electric circuit cell. It's going to use this copper and this iron. So we need to set up mining of those and then smelting. And then we need to set up the area where we're making the stuff. And then we need to set up train stops. So one thing at a time. The mining is going to be just like we've been doing, but with speed modules. But I've been working on some layouts for the smelting and the crafting. And I started with a layout kind of like this, where we have beacons all along the edges. And we have the ore on the outside and the finished product on the inside. And there would be the same thing on the other side symmetrically. And I thought, oh, this will provide a lot of beacons. But actually, when you look at it, each of these guys, these smelters, they're getting sped up from 4 beacons each. So there's actually a much more compact model that I found on the Factorio subreddit. So this basically, it does the same thing. Each of these smelters, furnaces, they're getting benefits from 4 beacons each. So this is the layout we're going to go with. It's nice and compact. It speeds things up a lot. It's going to do exactly what we need. And it is, I've made a tileable design as well. I've got a blueprint for it. So it does the same thing as this, but it's way more compact, and it just looks nicer. Then I started working on tiling an electronic circuit design. This was sort of the early idea. Typically, at least in the early game, you tend to go 3 copper wire cable assembly machines to 2 electronic circuit assembly machines because they need 3 copper cables, and they're made 2 at a time. So you just have to distribute that with 3 of these guys to 2 of those. But now that we have the assembly machine 3s and the speed modules and the beacons, we can fix that ratio just by distributing the beacons and the speed modules differently. So I'm not quite sure which one is better, but this is the basic layout we're going to go with. 1-to-1. So this guy is getting sped up, and his crafting speed is 6.25. The default speed of these guys, by the way, just looking at it, is 1.25, so it's sped up a lot. It's got 4 speed module 3s, and it's getting hit by 4 of these beacons on the edge here. So it's got a 400% speed bonus. It's going to be crafting like mad, and going into this guy, who's going to be using productivity models modules basically to slow him down. All right, check this out. This thing is truly massive. All of this stuff you see on the screen solely to produce these little guys, electronic circuits. So I think everything is set up more or less correctly, and we're gonna find out by plugging it in one piece at a time. The belts they're all connected, but I put little splits here and there. So we can just make sure the stuff is set up correctly. Okay, let's do it this. I wanna do it this way. This way. And bam. Okay, so I don't have any speed modules in these guys yet until we see if we actually need them. They are going to an 8-belt balancer. Let's see, how does that look? Looks fine, and since the belt is disconnected, I think we can just go ahead and connect these two guys up. Can I do that with a substation? Okay, maybe not. So we can do it this way, I guess. Let's have, you know what? I always like to have the copper wire be nice and parallel. Bam! Okay, so this is a lot of smelting. It is a lot of smelting. And we're not just thinking about this giant copper patch and the giant ore patch. We are thinking about one day in the future when these patches will be gone, we'll be bringing stuff in with trains. So I'm not even sure if we'll be able to support all this. We're just gonna go for broke, basically, and do as much as we can. I mean, I've done a decent amount of mental arithmetic, but it's always different actually seeing it in action. I know some people like to make gigantic spreadsheets, but I like to see how something is behaving and then modify it based on how it behaves. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't seem like we are completely saturating these belts, which is fine. I didn't really expect to. So those are going to get split into 6 and go into these guys. They're going to get condensed back down into 5. And then they're going to head out to all of this. So the real bottleneck here is the amount of items we can put on one of these express belts. So what I kind of think is going to happen with how much we've sped this up, this is going to be the copper line. Copper's going to come down here. If this belt is fully compressed, I think we're going to get to about here before there's no more copper. So I'm just going to get rid of these last 3 assemblers, but I want to find out. And so for just a while, we're just going to put the green stuff, the goops, in the chests. And we're going to set up the train station another time. And one thing we can do, though, as long as we can keep the belts compressed, we can just tile this design downwards and add more belts. So that will definitely work. Let's see how it goes. What do I need to do next? Okay, we need to give this thing power. So let's give you something like this. Why? Oh, okay, it was red. There was something in the way, like an underground belt or something. Bam. Okay, they are all ready to go except for him, huh? Yeah, he's kind of outside of the grid. So I'm just going to do that, I guess. This guy as well, because of the tiling nature, and I needed this beacon to be able to hit this guy. Oh, you're not connected to anything, are you? Okay, there we go. So that's probably, yeah, we're going to have that issue. For each of them, I might clean that up later. Looks a little messy. It doesn't look nearly as precise as all these other things we've done. Okay, that guy's on. That guy's on. That guy's on. And that guy's on. Okay, so everything is powered now, right? Okay, now is the moment of truth. By the way, if you don't know what this is, basically it was an 8x8 balancer. And I took 3 of the outputs and I fed it back into the inputs because I actually couldn't find a 5-to-5 balancer. In fact, if there is a 5-to-5 balancer, probably a version of this, where you just take 3 of the outputs, feed it back in the inputs. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. So we're going to start smelting the copper first, make sure that's working right, and that it looks good, like it's moving fast. Whoop. Okay. There we go. Oh, look at it. Look at it go. Here comes that. I was wondering, and not quite sure, how many furnaces I could fit horizontally. And looks like we are almost compressing that belt. Like I could put an extra furnace or two. So I might tear the whole thing down after we discover this and like redesign it. We have more or less... Yeah, and I will also need to put some speed modules in here because we're not compressing these belts either. So there's lots of things to learn on how to optimize this system. We do have a little bit of room to fiddle with. Where's my furnace blueprints right here? Could we put... Yeah, we could put 2 more furnaces. More or less. More or less. I think that would be fine. So all this guys is filled up. He's just waiting for the iron. Let's go put the iron in. And in the future, what I might do with that in mind, we might move all of this electronic circuit stuff down here and put it horizontal. All here. And then the pickup station would be come in through here and would have this whole area to pick up and drop off or whatever. But for now, this will probably work and we'll... Why? I was thinking, why is this not working? Because we have not connected the belts. Okay, last thing. More or less. Then we can watch the electronic circuits go to work. All right, these guys, we don't need as much iron as we need copper. If you look at the ratios there, we need 1 iron to 1.5 copper. So it's about, we have about 50% more of these furnaces for the copper. We've got a lot of stuff getting recycled back. Okay, good. So we could definitely put more furnaces here to compress the belt. It wouldn't take too much more, though, because they're pretty close. Oh, now we are... Yes, this is what I'm talking about right here. Look at this. Oh, come on, we gotta get out there. Look at it go. Look at it go. Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, we got plenty of space in these. That's compressed. Looks lovely. It seems like the copper is getting all the way... Oh my god. Seems like the copper is getting all the way there. But something that's happening now is that the belt's just getting compressed because this got backed up. So this isn't going to be the adequate test of just how much we can create here. Let's do this because I don't want to fill these guys up and then have to move all of those circuits somewhere else. So let me just limit them. But I think this system is going to be pretty good. It's going to be much more robust. We're going to be able to create way more electronic circuits, and it's somewhat expandable. We can add speed modules to our mining guys here to speed those up to make sure that these belts are getting compressed. They're not compressed now because the system has backed up because we're not doing anything with the product. But we can put, well, it looks like I'm quite low because I've used a lot in this build. We can put those in the actual mining guys. I am using 200 megawatts of my, about half of my steam power production and all of my solar panel. So I think we're going to add another 500 steam engines pretty soon. And think about what I want to do about the solar panel issue, because these, even if we doubled up the highways, they're not going to be enough to account for our increasing power demands per cell. You can see I've expanded all the way out here. Even if I feel this is like a big road loop, it's not going to add that many solar panels. So that's an issue. Might have to actually add solar panels in bulk to make up for that. The furnaces, we've got plenty of room for the furnaces, particularly if we move this stuff down here to be horizontal. In fact, I might just go ahead and do that right away just to plan for the future. And it will lay out better for the trains, to have the trains come in here and swing around and pick stuff up. But this is pretty awesome. It is a massive electronic circuit creation center. And we haven't even set up a means to have it get picked up. And let's actually tell you what, since I'm going to move it. Oh, it's kind of already there. All right, well, we'll just let it fill up. And I will grab a car with an empty inventory and go take it somewhere that needs it. In fact, we can, let's just do this. Cut them off. Okay, and the rest will back up. But I'm going to move it. So tell you what, let's actually do this as well. So that... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why am I missing one here? Okay, I messed up something. We're missing an input, or I guess it doesn't matter because we've got less than 8. But that's it for this video. Let me know, guys, what you think in the comments. Any ideas you have, feedback, ideas for things to do in the near future for the series. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.